So take a look. They're almost identical in presentation, but one's a 9, one's a 1. Welcome to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Green. This is my buddy Dan G.
What's up, Pat?
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
Doing well. How
Awesome.
are you?
Doing well. Thank you for asking. Today we got a special episode. We're here back at our buddy Kevin's place, and we're going to be talking about some really high-end pieces. I asked Kevin recently, I was like, hey, Kevin, I got this idea. You have such a great collection. Can we discuss some of your items at your discretion, highest end that you can find, or at least some of the ones that you want to let us talk about? So we've got some stacks here of stuff. We're just going to go through this in chunks, and we're going to talk about stuff. And Dan, you'll probably have good contribution of education and knowledge on
Hopefully.
this stuff. So we're going to start with baseball, and then we're kind of just move into other sports. So let's get right into it here. We'll just kind of move this block over here. And Dan, we'll just kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
And why don't you start us off?
Okay, so I guess top card here is a 2018 Topps Chrome Rafael Devers rookie auto gold wave refractor, gem mint 10. So these golds are really nice, and it's a 10. So
Serial numbering?
serial numbers to 50.
50.
Golds are, I believe, always 50.
I did because I know they have the waves, and so I've kind of lost some of the touch with some of the more modern
Right.
stuff.
So let me double check that, but
Yeah.
22 of 50.
Sure.
So phenomenal piece there.
Super high end. And I know that he was, I would assume he still is a big prospect in the baseball.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's doing well. Definitely has a following.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, because the Red Sox
Right.
always bring in a lot of marquee value.
right. 2018 is a really interesting year because it's like the gift that keeps on giving. I can't tell you how many rookies came out of 2018 that are just hitting it big right now.
Totally.
I mean, it's
A lot.
huge number.
Yeah. 2010,
Huge number.
still, we're finding guys from
Yeah.
2010 Bowman Chrome that are blossoming.
Right.
DJ LeMahieu was a more recent one. Christian Yelich,
Right.
another more recent one. Heck, even Max Kapler, I think, is one of the bigger. He's peaking a little bit.
Right.
And so it's kind of interesting to see. People collect Bowman Chrome for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing is to kind of watch and see who develops over time. This is a perfect example. It's cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Next on the list here is a 2008 Bowman Chrome Draft Orange Refractor Clayton Kershaw BGS 9. So this is the legitimate rookie year card. Click Kershaw is great.
Yeah.
He's consistently good at pitching.
Yeah.
He does really well, and this is the Orange Refractor non-auto to 25. Sort of my favorite flavor of the rookie card is the non-auto
Really?
stuff because I'm looking at the card design. I'm not distracted by an autograph. I just that's where I prefer, but I think that in any capacity, Kershaw stuff from 08 there's solid choices.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a huge card, big card. Now, Kevin, did you buy or pull this one?
I traded for that.
Okay. Was that a more recent trade?
It was. The guy had the orange one and the gold one.
Oh, yeah.
Got them both.
You did.
Oh, nice.
Good for you, man. So, yeah, Kershaw, 2008 Bowman Chrome Draft Orange Refractor. This is the BGS 9.5. Really great card to have.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, so next one, another PSA card, 2013 Panini Elite Extra Edition, right? The Aaron Judge red ink signature.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge. This one's numbered to 25, and it's a PSA 8.
It's a big card.
Pretty nice. Red ink.
Big card there. Now, that's Panini, so it's unlicensed, so you're going to get some yay or nayers on that one,
Right.
but everybody likes Judge. At least it seems that way. I can't say everybody is. There's not everything is anything, right? So I
Right.
can say a lot of people like Aaron Judge, and I think this is a great card, and certainly was probably hugely popular in 2017.
I'm sure it's pretty popular now.
I would
too.
assume so now, since he's a Yankee, and the Yankee, again, like the Red Sox, have strong marquee value.
Yeah.
Great card, awesome autograph. We see autographs in different colors. Red is sort of I like a nice accent, green, blue. I like these kinds of colors for autographs. So I think it's cool that they accented the autograph color with the design of the card, and I think that's a cool ad. So cool stuff. I'm glad we got to talk about that one.
Cool.
So next one is 2008 Topps Sterling, Johnny Bench, Jumbo Patch 1 of 1, PSA 8. Thank you. This is awesome, by the way. Really an amazing card. Gosh, what an amazing card.
Those Sterlings were nice.
They were really nice. Truly.
It's kind of a product that, I miss, at least the format, where you got the box and it was all one player, right?
Yeah, totally.
So if you got somebody like Johnny Bench, you have some nice Johnny Bench cards in there. I'd seen a Mickey Mantle box open once.
Really?
That was really nice.
Wasn't Stan Musial in this product? He was also in Tier 1.
I don't know what year he was in, but yeah, he was in one of the years.
I know he was showcased in Tier 1 and one of those earlier years of
Right.
that particular release. What a great card, man. That patch is amazing.
Really cool.
I love it. It's so rad. It's so rad. So there you have it. There is the gnarly patch card from Topps Sterling.
Yeah. Johnny
Bench.
101.
That's strong. Really nice.
All right, so next one here is 06 Ultimate Collection Al Kaline Bat Barrel and Signature PSA 8. And this one is number 2 of 3.
2 of 3. There you go.
There we go.
Beautiful. It's Kaline he had a great reputation for signing through the mail.
Yeah.
Like, he was consistent.
Mm-hmm.
He really liked it, and he was on board with that. I unfortunately was never able to get around sending him anything, but I have a friend in LA who's a big Tigers fan, and sure enough, I'm sure he's sent to Kaline before.
Yeah. I remember sending to a lot of guys from this era, but I specifically believe that I did not send to Kaline. Rory Campanella, though, before he passed.
Really?
He would sign. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So that's a pretty cool card.
That's a really cool card. Sweet addition. 2011 Topps Triple Threads, Babe Ruth, Flashback, Relics, Emerald, number to 18. Yeah, because they did them in increments of 9.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
And then there's something on the back, too.
Oh, yes. Right. We'll get to that in a sec. So here's the front. It's a typical Triple Threads design.
Right.
It seems like a lot of them look the same.
The cutouts, yeah.
And then the back, Sultan of SWAT. Kind of cool that they did the front and the back.
Yeah, I don't actually remember
them
ever seeing that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's 2 cards. But
Right. And Bambino on the front. Really nice, man. I've never seen them do the double like that before. So Kevin's a big fan of Babe Ruth. It's okay for me to say that, Kevin. And so we might have a few Ruth cards in this collection to talk about.
I would expect nothing less. So this one here is an 03 Donruss Elite Babe Ruth Throwback Threads PSA 8. And this one's numbered to 100. I think that's just a really cool swatch there.
An incredibly rare card.
Yeah.
A pack issued thing. I don't know what the odds are on something like this. High. Really high. Good stuff, man. I didn't open any of this stuff when it came out. I was out of the. I think I was it was 2000. I was coming back in this year, so I didn't buy any Donruss Elite. But what a great piece to own. Just a chunk of a swatch with 2 colors, and it's a Ruth swatch. Mm-hmm. A Ruth patch, really. It's really nice. Throw that over there.
Sure.
So, Kevin, now that you had this one slabbed in 2015 at the National, and you were actually pretty floored that it came back at 10. I think we had talked about it before. 2003, Leaf Limited Threads, Babe Ruth Button, number to 6. This came back at 10. And I remember sitting down with Kevin and talking about this with him at the 2015 National, and he was floored that he got a 10 on it. What were you expecting to get?
I was in hopes for a 9.
Really?
Just because jersey cards with all the inside corners, the outside corners, a foil finish.
Yeah.
I just did not expect a 10.
But, so, God.
We'll take it.
We'll take
Take it back, have him reslab it for a 9. Can you guys downgrade this? I was expecting just a 9.
Yeah.
to 6. Just doesn't get any better than that with the Ruth stuff with
Wow.
buttons, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, anything button
You know.
is fun.
I love it.
Love it too.
Awesome. What
Yeah.
else we
That's
got?
a really nice card.
That is a really solid choice card. At least $100.
Right. So this is a 2004 Leaf Limited Ted Williams Lumberjacks barrel 1 of 1. It is authenticated, but it is not graded.
Why would you authenticate a packaged card?
At that point in time, anything that didn't grade an 8
Yeah,
or better, I
right.
just want it authenticated.
Okay.
So
I mean, I guess with super high-end relic-y kind of cards,
Yeah.
authenticating is good to do because there's a lot of skullduggery. And I can't, honestly, I've talked about this before in podcasts and videos and stuff. These guys have gotten so good at doing this, I can't tell.
Yeah.
I honestly can't tell. I don't know what's what and what's what. That's why when I buy relic cards, I try to get the most laziest looking ones I can find, the cheapest, because I know they're real. People aren't going to tamper with a
Right.
normal swatch that's just gray, but they might tamper with one that has a really nice intricate patch. And so I try to go that route.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably do a little bit of work and maybe find it, if it's changed hands but sometimes it's really hard. I know there's some guys that are pretty good about that, and they keep track of patch cards that are rare.
Some of them have
yeah.
come around, and people have noticed that, hey, this card
Has a
graded
serial
this way.
number,
Right.
yeah,
And so I see that.
but now has a weird patch that wasn't there before.
I talk about this. I actually, I think it was the 2017 National, we went to the Topps Q&A. And I asked him, I was like, how do you respond to the fake relic problem that we have in the hobby? And they answered, but I didn't really get a firm, we don't, essentially I kind of thought that Topps hadn't really tackled that quite yet. The way I was thinking about it is that relic cards should all come with serial numbers and they should all be scanned in. All of them. And then it's a database, and you can go and check your serial number against the Topps archives or the Upper Deck archives, and you can check that this looks like that when it was printed. That's a lot of manpower.
Yeah.
But if there's some way you could automate that somehow, like when their cards are printed, just have them automatically scanned during the printing process. I don't know, but that would easily cut out all
Or
of that
maybe
problem.
a die pack behind it. When you pull it out, it pops and ruins the card.
Like it turns to purple.
explodes.
It's like on Speed when Dennis Hopper gets the money bag and he opens it and it squirts out all the purple stuff.
Right.
Like that.
Exactly.
Okay, this one here. This is the... Oh, man. Look at that. God. Did you pull or buy?
Bye.
All right. 2008 Topps Triple Threads. That would be 14 Legends Relics. Babe Ruth, 1 of 1. Sultan of SWAT. 714 home runs, 342 average. There you go.
So did you have that one slabbed, or did it come slabbed?
I slabbed it. It's 24 pieces of bat, I believe.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's huge. Huge card.
It's big.
Oh, I see that.
I kind of like that case. Does PSA grade those similarly?
window.
I don't think PSA would grade that at the time. They are grading those book cards now, currently.
What if you were the executive assistant assigned to placing the pieces in the... You're like being paid $9 an hour for a Ruth card.
That's pretty
I've
cool.
heard that there's the same card with jersey pieces.
Really?
Have not seen it. I was told it's a 1-on-1. I've seen one Mickey Mantle that's numbered to 9 that has a lot of bat pieces of that size. But the rumor is that there's a Babe Ruth that has that many jersey pieces.
Well, if you might check the Beckett DB on this, and if there's another one like this,
It'll be in there?
they'll have it run out, and it'll say relic, but if there's another one other than the one you have, then you know that there's at least another one of something, and that might be the relic one. Just look into it. That's really nice. How long have you had that?
I've had that for, what year is that?
It's 08.
Hey, wait, I'm thinking around 2010 I had acquired that.
Really?
Fairly
cool.
early.
Was it high?
It wasn't cheap, even in 2010.
Right.
Cool.
How did you find it? Did they contact you?
I found it online.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow. God. And it only graded out of 6. You know what you should do is wait for a better copy. All right, so that covers most of our baseball. We've got something else here we're going to talk about, but that's our graded stuff. Okay, so these, I think it's your turn, Dan.
Yeah.
These we're going to talk about. These are really interesting. Kevin and I discussed these over the phone last night briefly because I had acquired a card from the 52 set, Robin Roberts, and so we're going to be talking about the 51.
Yeah, so these are the 51 Burke Ross cards where they were side by side, right? But these are in the original box, which... Other than these, I have never seen them with the original packaging.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, and Kevin has 4 of them.
The different ones. Now, if you don't know about Burke Ross, they're together. The cards, you have to unperforate them, right? That's the thing.
Correct.
But they have perforations over all 4 sides.
No, just down the middle.
Okay, so 52 then has the perforation on all 4 sides.
That I don't know.
Okay, because that's how my Robin Roberts appears. But down the middle on these for the 51s, and they're going to get the stars in here too. There's some big stars in this.
Yeah.
And these 51 sealed packs, they're extremely rare. You're not going to...
Right.
I don't look for them, so I don't know how often they show up on eBay.
I for a while looked for them and could never find them. So I've never seen them other than these.
Did you see the price tag on them?
I did not.
Yeah, this one's $1, that one's $2.
The
Oh,
lower left corner.
10 cents.
They were 10 cents a pack.
Wow.
You should buy them all.
Who's who in sports? So did this year have
That is a
other
complete set.
other sports?
Yes, there's golf, tennis,
Boxing.
boxing.
Yeah. They were always other sports,
Very
right?
diversified, yeah.
Yeah.
These are really clean packs. Do you think you can get the packs graded? You could probably, right?
When I think it's been 5 years ago or so, PSA said there was really no way to grade that without
Okay.
removing the cards and grading them individually.
Oh, but you couldn't just grade the pack of cards.
No.
Because I know GAI was doing that for a while.
I would love those slabbed.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try GAI and see what they do, or Beckett. You never know.
Man, these are really clean packs too. Gosh, they almost look brand new. I mean, they have slight condition imperfections, but overall, they look like they came out of the, off the rack.
Yeah. So were these local pickups, or did you find them online, or?
I don't know if you remember,
National?
there was a gentleman at Bubba's show, his sidewalk show, had them.
Oh wow.
And I missed them there. I couldn't afford them. And a couple years later, he was at the mall. I think he was a cabinet builder.
Okay.
He was at the mall show, and he had them, and I picked them up.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Gosh, 1951 Burke Ross.
That is a complete set.
That's just so gnarly.
Each one of those little packs are considered a series. I think it's series 1 through 4.
Right.
Really cool.
Yeah, super. Just incredible. So if you're unfamiliar with the 51s, Mantle shows up in 52, not 51, but 51 does still showcase some interesting players. The 52 card features the same image that he's found on his 51 Bowman. Again, just a little tidbit.
That's cool. That's a nice picture. So
Totally. Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. All right, put those over there.
Yeah.
Now we're doing football. So I'm going to just kind of carry these this way. I have to slide them. So we're just going to move these here. All right. This is a 2018 Panini Flawless. Julio Jones Flawless Legendary Tags 1 of 1. PSA 9. I don't know anything about Julio Jones. I know Julio Franco.
I mean, he's been around a little while.
Yeah.
And still considered one of the top wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's got some pretty good skills.
Yeah.
So-
on the Falcons too with
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
That's a really nice tag.
So that's a great one to have. This
Yeah.
one here. Pretty pumped on it. I love the patch.
Yeah, the patches are nice.
That's incredible. The tag.
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to beat tags.
I
Buttons
have,
and tags.
I have a few pieces in collections that are like helmet pieces or something where it's like the safety warnings.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody big, but just because the piece is
Yeah.
really cool.
Super cool.
I make it a point to keep them.
Love that.
Yeah. All right, so
This
I
is a
guess
great one.
Yeah, this is one of my
Great
favorite card designs of all time. And this is the 1998 Bowman Chrome. This is the Randy Moss Interstate Refractor. And 98 is his rookie year.
It is.
Right? It's a Gem Mint 10. It's an amazing card.
Beautiful card.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. And they call them interstate in football, but in baseball, they're international.
Right.
Like that was the kind of like they're changing it up a little bit.
Right.
And I remember when I catching on to this, down the line, I was like, why are they called interstate? It should be called international refractors. But I kind of like that they changed it up that way.
It probably had a lot to do with baseball having a lot of international players, wherein
That's a good point.
football, not as many.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
So really cool.
Love that card. Randy Moss, man, great cards to get in 98.
Yeah.
1998 Topps Chrome Refractor, Randy Moss, PSA 10. Another classic. I really like the refractors in 98 Topps Chrome football.
Yeah.
I think they turned out really well. They kind of pop off like that.
Yeah, I'm going to
They're really nice.
manipulate it in the light a little bit.
You notice the refractors in this era are kind of like, they almost appear, they present a little bit darker than modern refractors in a way. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
They're just a little darker, and I like that's sort of like that undertone of how the refractors kind of come alive. Those old ones, they really look nice. I really like them a lot. This one's great. I love this card. Great card to have. This next one is also down your alley.
It's another 98
Here we go.
Bowman Chrome
Oh, this is such
Interstate
a good card.
Refractor.
Yeah.
But rather than being Gem Mint 10 Randy Moss, it's a Gem Mint 10 Peyton Manning.
His stuff has just gone
Beautiful.
crazy. He's amazing.
Yeah. I still think it's a little bit undervalued at this point. I think you can still find some pretty good deals on his rookie stuff.
Totally. But the question becomes, why is that?
I think everyone's attention right now is
Yeah.
baseball and basketball.
Okay. Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think you can still get some high-end pieces in 98
Yeah.
for a couple $100.
I've seen some numbered
And you're out. And you're good.
pieces,
Yeah.
that are $12.
Totally.
Yeah, and I'm like, I should be buying this now.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that there's still a lot of room for growth for Peyton Manning stuff as we go along. He's going to be one of those guys, I feel like,
for
that
sure.
he's just going to consistently rise and rise and rise over time. Just a great, all-time great football player.
Yeah, agreed.
One of the better quarterbacks.
Really cool.
Super cool. So this is a 1998 Playoff Prestige Draft Picks Green, numbered. This one's numbered to 25. PSA 6. Great card. These are hard to grade because of the foil, so a 6 is a strong grade for this card. These are just kind of super highly condition sensitive, ultra condition sensitive because of that foiling.
Oh, yeah.
I have the Ryan Leaf from this set, and you just don't see the numbered because they're just tough.
Yeah.
You just don't find them. Outside of this example, I've never seen another Manning.
Oh, wow.
Not that I've really searched a lot, but
Yeah.
because I search for 98 stuff for my other PC, then you think I'd come across more of
Right.
this stuff, but I just never do. They're just tough. Great card, super rare, super, super rare.
Look at the foil, or the numbering on the back side there. That foil is really big.
Totally.
Big stamp.
Yeah. I like that. The executive assistant.
Yeah. Oh, man, so this is one of the tombs.
One of the old cases.
So this is a 2018 Panini National.
So that's what's crazy is I was shocked when it came back in that case.
Because they had already been using the...
I've got many thick cards in the smaller cases.
It might be the case that they run out of the...
Looks
at
like
the National, and they just bring out the whatever, and we can slab it for. Are you going to have it
I
reslabbed?
didn't have that slabbed at the National.
Oh, you didn't.
I mailed it in after the
Oh, you did?
National
Okay.
28.
Well, it looks like they wrapped it in a sandwich bag
No,
before
I
they
don't
slapped
know.
it.
It's definitely in a Ziploc.
Ziploc.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, this thing's
it's a beautiful
indestructible,
card,
right? You could play Frisbee with this, and it wouldn't touch the card. Like, this case is
Holy
literally
cow.
indestructible. Are you going to have it reslabbed in a smaller? Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, so
Right.
it's the National VIP Tom Brady Relic Green 8.5, number 2 of 5,
God, what's the...
wrapped in a sandwich bag.
What's the thickness, do you think, on that? 180? No. Maybe one.
It's hard to say.
Something. It's between 120 and 180.
Look at that. Look at that thing.
Oh, it kind of fits. It does fit. So the thing about these cases, while they're unnecessarily big, they're indestructible. Like I was telling Dan just a minute, you could play Frisbee with this and it'd probably keep the card intact, like just like as is. It wouldn't touch the card. You could probably throw it across the room to your buddies. Or
Are they waterproof?
that I don't know, but I mean, these are
Waterproof.
they really?
Smoke-proof, yes.
No kidding.
If it's water damage or smoke damage, the card shouldn't have a problem. Of course, fire will melt the case.
Right.
It's a total eyesore, but it's super durable and it keeps the card super safe, which I can respect.
It's a nice conversation piece. Look, it's even got little
a 5.
feet. It's got little feet there. So it's like a
Use it
table.
as a coffee table.
Yeah.
You're right.
They cut some tomatoes.
It's a coaster. Here, put my water on top of that.
Yeah.
I love PSA though. They're great. They're fantastic. Speaking of PSA, this is a 2000 Bowman Chrome PSA 10 Tom Brady. This is a great card. This card has really come up over the last just 5 years. I mean, huge growth. Yeah. And the refractor is untouchable now.
This should be my card. He didn't want to trade it to me.
Oh, who would want to trade the Chrome?
At the time, it wasn't worth what it is now.
Right.
But he couldn't part with it, and I'm still bitter about that one.
This card has really popped a lot.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years alone.
Yeah.
I couldn't move that at Nationals last year for $2,200.
Now it is worth.
If I recall, I can't keep all the numbers straight.
I know
I think it's north of 10.
And a 10 just base without the refractor.
That's last August.
Without the refractor. Yes. 10 grand.
Yes.
I remember 5 years ago, you could get this card in a 10, I think, for less than $1,000, but barely less than $1,000.
When we were wheeling and dealing on it, it was going for $700.
In a 10?
In a 10.
And how long ago was that?
It's a couple of years now.
Yeah.
All right, 2008 UD Exquisite Collection, John Elway, Rare Materials Platinum.
Awesome card.
Numbered to 10.
Gosh.
And yeah, there's some patches in there.
I love that they use hollow foil on those. So rad.
Yeah. Really a nice card.
Shortly before Upper Deck lost their NFL license, so you still got really strong football pieces at this time. Upper Deck just did a lot of their stuff really well.
Yeah.
Really, really well. And they still do. I miss seeing them in baseball. I miss them in football. I just miss them having more licensing. And just it was a good time in the hobby.
Yeah, the hockey stuff they do is really cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So, John Elway, can't go wrong.
No.
He's one of those, like, you have a section in your box for John Elway. Like, he's one of those guys. Dan Marino, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Warren Moon, maybe even. Jim Kelly.
I don't think I have a Jim Kelly or Warren Moon.
Oh, you got to start the Warren Moon section.
Nah, I'll pass on that.
2008 playoff National Treasures. So this predated the Panini acquisition. So this was a playoff exclusive. Jim Brown, 75th anniversary material signature PSA 10. Man, that is nice. That's numbered to 10. Jim Brown. Great, solid, classic football.
Hey, and a great actor, too.
Truly. Jim Brown. What movies?
He's in at least one Spike Lee movie that I know of. I'm going to Get You, Sucker, right?
Police Academy.
I don't know if he's in Police Academy.
Love these. Love this card. Great card. I have not seen this. This is one of those cards Kevin is kind of like not shown. And I encouraged Kevin during his conversation yesterday. I was like, whenever we talked initially, I was like, I know you have a lot of stuff we haven't seen. If you want to share some of that, we would love to see it.
Yeah.
So this is certainly one of those pieces. Love it. It's a beautiful card.
Yeah. So
it's on you.
So this one is near and dear to me because I spent a lot of time hunting down these 86 Topps cards. And
it's a classic design.
This Jerry Rice is a mint 9, which is a really strong grade.
Super strong
this year. So the 86 Topps
They've
Jerry
come up.
Rice. So yeah, actually, Kevin and I were having a discussion about these maybe a year and a half ago, and we were talking about how inexpensive the 8s and 9s were at the time.
What were 9s going for?
They were like 125 bucks, 150 bucks.
What?
We were buying the 8s, I think, for like $38 a piece.
That's insane.
You could buy 3 of them for $60.
That's
it
insanity.
Was really an odd time because just beyond me, I couldn't figure out why, with a set that's so notorious for being OC and having print
horrible.
dots and
the OC is the biggest problem with me on this set. That's why I never got around to buying an 8, because I was in the market for an 8 last year and the year prior, and I just couldn't get. I wanted one with at least centering that wasn't perfect, but acceptable to me.
Yeah.
I mean, even this one's imperfect, but it's within an acceptable range. And I think
Right.
I should have been I should have had maybe exercised less scrutiny and just got one just to
Right.
have one.
Well, I mean, the 8s are, trading at like a couple hundred.
I know.
$250.
I lost. I missed.
Dollars a
I
piece.
missed it.
Right.
I can't get everything.
Yeah.
And I have to accept it. That's just in this next card we're going to talk about is another iconic football card that everybody should try to get.
Yeah.
And with I think one of the greatest football names of all time.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about this. This is 1981 Topps Joe Montana rookie PSA 9. I have this card in a really hammered condition. This set too struggles with centering flaws, like plagued with them.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, left to right, consistently bad.
But I don't think it's as bad as the 86. The 86
Is consistent. Is almost every card is bad.
The 86, you have like those diamond cuts where
they're like tilted a little ways.
What did they do? Like
I know.
put in the crooked and then stamp them crooked. Like
Here's what I think happened: is that the sheets were ever so smaller in dimension than the place where the sheet was supposed to be placed to be cut, and because of that, they were moved in this way, or they were moved a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little bit up, a little bit down, and so when they were put in there, the spacing for the sheet wasn't perfectly aligned with the sheet's width itself. Which that's my prediction of why we have this kind of manufacturing
I
imperfection
think the guy
at such a
pulling
global
the
level.
lever was probably drunk.
The executive assistant is working too hard. The carpal tunnel with the stamping. I was looking at
And a
Montana's
9.
yesterday in 8s, actually. They're still pretty reasonably priced. Not bad.
So I don't have a graded one, but I do have 1 or 2 raw copies.
Have you had that one for a long time? You have? I love it. That's one of my favorite football cards of all time. Notre Dame grad.
Yeah.
One of the greatest quarterbacks, I think, ever. Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Just such a solid, masculine name.
So this is the 1976 Topps Walter Payton rookie in a mint 9, which
Such
is
awesome.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. card,
I
think.
see these at card shows hammered, and $70, and part of me is like, you know what, just
try
buy
grabbing
them
them.
for $70.
Yeah.
Right? Raw,
These
yeah,
raw ones?
yeah.
Hammered, how bad? Would you say?
Enough to where
How badly?
$70 makes me think.
Totally.
Yeah,
But not terrible.
but not terrible.
Right.
Like not ripped in half.
Not
or
missing
anything.
corners
Yeah,
and whatever.
Not like the one we're gonna look at now.
So take a close look at this card in a 9.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to its centering and its overall presentation value, everything. It's beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. You can't get much better than this. Obviously a 10, but within the 9 range, this is about as good as you can get.
Yeah.
Okay, take note of that. Write it down if you have to. Okay, you got that?
Take it. So the next one here is
This is the same card, but in a PSA 1. Now look at the presentation of this card. It looks almost identical to the last one,
right.
and it's a 1.
However,
However, the reason why it got a 1 is because it has what appears to be humidity surface cracks.
let's see if I can.
But seriously though, honestly, that is the nicest one I think I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of nice ones. This is the best one.
So can I tell the story from my perspective?
Go ahead, yeah.
So I was there when Kevin purchased this.
You were at the booth when
I
that
was
happened?
at the booth. He was sitting there, and a lady came by, and she had this and 2 other cards. Apparently, she was there as a proxy for her husband,
Right.
who had submitted this card for a regrade.
What was it graded for previously?
I think she said it was a 2, right?
And he felt it should be
He felt it should have been better, and when it came back a 1, he was spitting
Livid.
fire. Like she was on the phone with him, and he was saying, "Just get rid of them.
Wow.
I don't care what you get for them."
Really?
Same as on the Ruth. It came back less than it was.
Yeah. I mean, and I could hear him over all of the noise of the National screaming on the other end. I mean, the poor guy.
For
the
all
poor
the
guy,
National noise.
Yeah, the poor guy. To this day, I think of him, and I also think of his poor wife, who was
Dealing with it.
Yeah, got the butt end of the deal. He couldn't make it, and he was just really disappointed in that card. And
Grab the 9. Let's see if we can get them both on there.
Fantastic as far as how it looks.
We're gonna sit side by side this. So take a look. They're almost identical in presentation, but one's a 9, one's a 1. And honestly, when I look at cards, and we talked about this before, I think maybe you and I have talked about this. Like, what do you go for? Do you go for the grade or go for the card?
I think you go for the card.
That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
And so when I look at presentation value, specifically vintage, and we can talk about vintage a little bit more later if you want, but because there's so many of these in print, please, that you have to have some scrutiny, some discretion over which one you're going to buy. Don't wait too long to get one. Grab your hand. Like, don't do what I did and wait forever to get a PSA 8 Rice rookie. But, you know, grab stuff that you can find that fits in your collection and it looks great and you like looking at it. It's got great centering, great eye appeal, great color. Like this card, this is the best one I've ever seen.
Well, and I guess there's a lesson to be learned here because I think we all know that if you have a card with a hole punch through it, it's a 1.
It's a 1 automatically.
Right? But this one doesn't have anything like that.
Right.
It just has these surface cracks.
And they're subtle.
And I can't believe that knocks it
all the way down to
all the way to a
And
1.
I think they're only in the top left corner.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you
I can
look
see
at
him across like the front of his
the
face.
center. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few in the center, but it's, I mean, you really have to have it in the right light and you really have to, you know, strain
I see
to
it there.
it.
I see it. They're along the y-axis. I can see them all this way. There's one here, one long one here. But honestly, if you're looking at this card straight on, even like in a showcase, it presents beautifully.
Yeah.
It really does. It's a great card.
I agree with the original owner. I think it should have graded higher than a 1.
1.5.
I mean,
you kind of have to wonder a card in this good a shape. How was it that it got surface cracks from humidity? You have to wonder, like, were they out? Was this card in Hawaii or like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or on the East Coast somewhere in like Virginia?
I have no idea.
You know, you have to think like, at what point did this card? What caused this? What circumstance?
You would think that it would
it?
have to be like drastically changing weather conditions, you know, to get it to crack that way. It has to be high humidity, then all of a sudden get real dry. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's just a hypothesis there.
You have to wonder, too, with production, were some cards susceptible for having this issue with little effort later down the line? Maybe. I mean, I'm always curious because cards this good a shape and come back with this condition, somebody cared for this card when it was exposed to whatever caused that, whatever kind of moisture, humidity, whatever scenario caused that. Maybe you have to kind of wonder if they cared for that card so well. It was probably in a protective sleeve somewhere, a page, or
maybe they had it crimped down and like a screw down.
And their water got underneath?
Water got underneath it. Like, I don't know.
A humid area.
But usually if that happens, it causes mold and you see the dark black spots.
That's why I would
because it gets caught in there.
That's why I would think that it went from humid to dry really
fast.
Quick. All right, 1971 Topps Terry Bradshaw.
Another set that suffers some centering problems.
This one's
badly.
a Year Mint 8.
Amazing card.
And the red edges, the colored edges, are prone to
problems.
Issues.
So that is akin to 71 Topps baseball or even 75 Topps baseball with those colored. 75. I do too. Those colored borders, and they're susceptible to condition flaws because of that.
Right.
So 8 is like really good grade for this card. Really good grade for this card.
86 Topps football.
Yeah. And I don't know, I haven't been checking the Terry Bradshaw rookie end prices right now, what the market is on the Terry Bradshaw. I know his show with his family's coming out soon, so probably going to see a spike. Because when you see any kind of like PR around these players in any capacity, I've noticed that it translates to higher values for the cards. So we're probably going to see a spike on the Bradshaw rookie if it hasn't already happened.
Right.
What a beautiful card.
Yep, fantastic. Cool. On to
all right, basketball.
The basketball.
So here we go. This is the 2018 Panini Prism Mosaic Autographs PSA 10 Luka Doncic. Doncic?
This is Doncic, I believe.
Doncic?
Yeah.
Autograph.
I actually at one point got on YouTube to hear how it was said.
Oh, really?
I was always mispronouncing
it.
Yeah. So these were cool.
Super
really cool. However, there was always that rumor out there that he auto-penned a lot of these things.
Really?
Yeah. But
who got caught in football that auto-penned a couple years ago?
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah. However, they're not sure if it was auto-penned or if it was his mom signing, right? But all of his autographs say Lulu, which I think are really cool.
I like that. Easy to forge, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's why there was some belief or there is a belief that his mom signed a bunch as well.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't think it's impacted values at all.
They've come up like crazy.
Yeah.
His stuff sells.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this goes for, but it's got to be high.
And the Dak Prescott stuff, I mean, it was very clear that they were
because they were so consistent.
Because they were so consistent
across the board, right?
Yeah. And these, there's variations in a lot of the loops and the size and so forth.
I love that they used that Bowman's best 96 atomic refractor box matrix design.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of every time it's being reproduced. It's just so nice.
So yeah, Kevin had the gold numbered to 10 as well.
He was telling me that.
Yeah,
and he sold it.
I know.
And he sold it for way less than they go for now.
Okay, so this is an 09 Topps James Harden black. These are numbered to 50, and this is number 50 of 50.
Incredible.
Incredible. So it's his rookie card, and it's an 8.
An 8 with those black borders like that.
Yeah.
That's a strong grade for that card. Strong. You're lucky to get a 6 on a lot of those. And 6s are like, I'm happy with a 6.
Well, the commons of this set sell for crazy numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the commons.
So for some reason, 08 and 09, everybody wants all of a sudden.
When you got guys like this, and then we're going to talk about Stephen Curry in a minute, it draws, like we talked about before, exposure to everybody else in those sets. And so I feel like, and especially now being people at home, they're on the computer because they're trying to remain content with their situation. There a lot more eyeballs on things right now.
Right.
And so that's probably helping the cause of driving the prices up for the commons.
Right.
And it's just a great looking set.
It's a great
Those
looking
sparkly black, gray kind of design. I love that. It's so cool.
Agreed.
So this next one, 2009 Bowman 48 black parallel Stephen Curry PSA 7 numbered this is 01 out of 48. This is the first print of the print run.
It could have been that the National was going on in 10.
Yeah.
Right? And so but I remember somebody coming to the table and wanting gas money, and he sold me his box that he had opened. I told him I'll give you $30, right? And there was a Steph Curry auto rookie. I sold that for $60.
Doubled your money.
I doubled my money, but now in hindsight, I'm like, man, why didn't I save it? Why didn't I save it?
Whatever.
Because we can't save everything.
You gotta let it go. And I look at this like this. It's when those things happen, although you did make a profit, I look at it as like you're the intermediary for making money to pass it on, let it pass through you into the next owner and just get out of it.
Whoever bought it for $60 is laughing.
Right. And accept that in that capacity, you're just using the card as a profit machine and not worrying about it as it passes through and just letting it go.
Number 1 of 48.
That's a great card, man.
It's a really nice card.
And the 7, again, strong grade for that because of the black borders.
Right.
I really dig that. Show us the next one. This one's
all right, so this is a monster, actually. So this is the 07 Topps Chrome Kevin Durant Refractor in a PSA Gem Mint 10, numbered to $14.99.
What do they go for now?
I don't know. They're outside of anything that I could remotely consider paying for a card.
I've seen them around at shows. I'm not in the market for Kevin Durant rookies, but I see them around. And they've really just popped hugely over the last 5 years.
Out of control.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even the base tops, but the one that came out of the packs, the one that's black bordered, those in a 10 have hit astronomical numbers.
Well, it's the black.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually you don't see them too often anymore. Mostly what you see are the whites, which I think were like team sets or something like that. So
I love it.
Huge, huge card.
Huge card.
Wow.
We're going to do another huge card here in a sec.
Yeah.
Super pumped on this one, just like that one. 2003 Topps Pristine. I love this set. Gold Refractor, PSA 9. This one's numbered to 99. It's LeBron James rookie. Bam. This is one of those super boutique cards most of us will never own.
I don't think many people see them.
And people don't see them. They're extremely rare. You just never see them.
Tonight on Radicards.
Yeah, now you're seeing one tonight on Radicards. So this is a huge card. I love the decal edges of the Pristine. Love them. If you guys are watching and you collected LeBron James back in 2003, kudos to you. A lot of us didn't, and so we're kind of kicking ourselves right now, I think.
Wow, but I mean, he was affordable 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Now it's not.
It's not. You know, if you didn't pick it up, you're
out of luck.
You're trading in your firstborn or a kidney.
Isn't that crazy?
Nice card.
It's awesome. Beautiful.
Now, is this the only copy you have of this one?
He's got more than one of this
more
card.
Than one. Amazing.
A lot of lawn mowing jobs for that. At least 3.
All right, so this is the 2003-2004 Topps Chrome LeBron James rookie in a Gem Mint 9.5 BGS. So this is another card that has absolutely
gone crazy.
Just gone crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
5-figure card now, would you say?
That one's close, right in there.
Yeah.
Barely there.
In a year's time, it'll be over it.
Yeah. The PSAs have cracked 12.
2003, 2004, Topps Black LeBron James rookie, BGS 8. Again, serial number to 500. Super, super tough grades on these, so 8s are strong. You can hope for an 8. I mean, that's the peak.
Right.
Just rarely ever see 9s and 10s of this stuff.
Numbered to 500.
Extremely rare. I haven't been pricing this particular in the market, but if you were to give it a valuation right now as we're talking, where would you put it?
I wouldn't know, because I think the base cards raw are $500-600.
Raw.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm a little high on that.
Sure.
But,
at least right now you're high. You might be in the ballpark very shortly.
I would think that. I mean, this is probably $3,000-4,000 card. I don't know. I don't price
maybe
things
more
that I can't afford.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
Yeah.
Really solid stuff. Solid.
All right. So this one is a 1996-97 Topps Chrome Kobe Bryant in a BGS 9.
Love this set. Such a great set. Yeah. Great rookies in this set. You got Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, of course Kobe. There's a bunch of. It just showcased a lot of big key players in this set.
Now I don't remember specifically, but the refractors were really hard to get because weren't they exclusive to retail?
Retail only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough.
So if you weren't buying it in retail,
it's a big piece. That's a big reason why they're so important.
Yeah.
Because they were hard to get. And after the retail weren't available anymore, it became hard to get them in 97, right? And so you had to hope that people pulled them and then
sold them
around. Yeah. And so they passed around a bit, but the Kobe refractors now have just gone crazy.
But it's one of the cards that I've never owned. I've never owned the Kobe in general in the Topps Chrome.
I've never even owned the base tops that we're going to talk about here in a sec.
I had quite a few and have since moved on them.
Base Topps, PSA 10. It's okay, man.
Yeah, it happens.
Base Topps, PSA 10. I think that I remember in 96 having conversations about this set when it came out. I was being exposed to Kobe Bryant's introduction to basketball, and I remember thinking, keep an eye on that guy. He's going to be big time. And this is back in the time when I was opening up boxes of 92 Skybox and we're pulling out all the Shaqs. And a friend of mine had them in his garage. My grandmaster was a big basketball collector for a while, and his son and I were pretty good friends. And I'd go over to his house, and he'd pull out like bricks of boxes in his garage, and we'd just rip through them and pull out all the key rookies. It was just the coolest thing. I was so thankful to have a friend who would just give them to me after we were done ripping. I thought it was so cool, so fun. Yeah. We like hoops and everything else, so I was pulling out a lot of Shaqs. But he got me turned on to Kobe Bryant back then because he was big into basketball. That was his thing, and so I had kept an eye on his stuff in basketball. I've never really been a big basketball collector. I don't have that much stuff, but
I was always. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I really like that when this came out, even back in '96, the Chrome Refractor was like a huge card even way back 24 years ago. And so now here we are this time, and it's still consistently one of the most important cards in 90s basketball of all time. Like that's one of the biggest rookies you can get.
I was very skeptical because he was coming right out of high school.
Yeah. So was LeBron, though.
Yeah. But by the time LeBron had done it, several people had been successful.
I remember him coming out of high school too, and I had the same. I was like, dude, he's only like 17 or whatever. He's a kid, but he's dominant, productive, talented.
Competed against men as a kid.
He's one of those first guys who was drafted out of high school.
Right. Cool. Excuse me. All right, here's another good one. So the 86 Fleer, Michael Jordan, in a near mint 8.
You have the same grade.
I have one in the same grade, yeah. And
They fluctuate.
lately they've fluctuated up quite a bit.
There was like a trend.
There was
a lot
a period
of
of
this
time where it was up and down and up and
Yeah.
down, but in the last year they've done nothing but go up.
Yeah.
Which
So this card is the one thing that's so intriguing about the 86 Fleer Jordan PSA anything is that as time goes by, the pop reports go up.
and the price
And,
goes up.
and the price goes up. Typically, you see an inverse relationship between the two.
Yeah.
The population goes up, price goes down because you have more of this.
Right.
That's a supply and demand typical relationship in economics. But with this particular card, pop goes up, price is unaffected.
yeah.
It's the most amazing thing. It really is, because so many of these are slabbed every year. Something like 17,000 of them have been slabbed. And so it's like, I see that and I'm like, still they're bringing in thousands of dollars in 8, and it's, a lot of people qualify this as the rookie card because it's the first NBA licensed product to feature his likeness, even though he's showcased in star issues 3 years prior, 2 years prior to 86 to 84. And you see, and so to me, when I see that, and I get that they're unlicensed and they've been reproduced, and it's difficult to tell the real ones from the fake ones, but I always envision the 84 star card of him pulling down the ball as the key rookie card, the red border. And I know BGS is the only company who, at least to my knowledge, that knows how to identify real authentics with reproductions of that card, which is why we only get to see the 84 star slabbed by BGS. So this is one of those cards now with the 86 Fleer. Iconic shot, iconic card, one of the greatest basketball cards of all time, of one of the greatest basketball players of all time, if not the greatest basketball player of all time.
Well, I think it's great that they keep going up. I think it shows that it doesn't matter what the supply is, the demand is always
high.
Yeah.
And it consistently, as generations learn about Jordan,
It's
more
gone.
people are going to continue to get into the market to buy Jordan stuff, which is going to drive that price up further. Now we're seeing it now that, oh my gosh, LeBron James has 23 as his number. Jordan had 23 as his number. I guess Jordan is like the guy.
Right.
And so it's bringing up a lot of attention and prices for Jordan cards.
for a second.
All Jordan cards. I love that card. I still don't have one. I don't know when I'm going to get one. I don't know if I'm going to get one. But I love this card.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're great.
Yeah.
And the colors. They're just, in a 10, they're really tough
Well,
10s.
it's a very recognizable design.
Extremely recognizable.
Really cool card.
Really cool card. This next one
is a really cool card too.
This is great. 1980 Topps, Bird Irving Johnson, rookie. It's a PSA 9. Oh, it's beautiful centering. Man, the centering on that is just
huge
stunning.
grade.
Stunning.
Huge grade. So I want to talk a little bit about these because I bought one raw.
You did.
And I had it submitted, and it had a little bit of trouble, but it eventually got slabbed at an 8.
That's good.
But one of the things I was always concerned about was the authenticity of it.
Okay.
And I knew that there were counterfeits out there. And one of the things with the counterfeits is the perforation.
Right.
Apparently it's a consistent perforation.
With the counterfeits.
With the counterfeits, whereas with the originals, there are gaps in the perforation.
Oh, I see that
And
now.
so that is one of the tells whether or not you have a counterfeit or not. What I also find interesting is I look at them quite frequently, and so many of them have that little print line down at the bottom, that little black line, which I think is
that's
really
the cut
an
line.
Interesting thing.
That's a cut
Yeah.
line. That's printed on the sheets so you know where to cut the line.
Well, they
through
miss
the-
them on all of them.
No, I know, but you have to realize that sometimes those are intentionally missed because they have to know where to put the blade to ensure that it goes
Right.
And so I have to use that same aspect when I'm creating printed products for my bags. We have to go through a process where we have to add that print line. That's kind of like a guide. And on the counterfeits, they don't have the guideline.
It depends, I think, on the counterfeit. I think the majority of them do not. I mean, they're trying to make it look as perfect as possible, but that's a pretty common thing to see on them.
You know what's interesting? Just a year ago, you could get this for four and change.
Yeah.
For this particular iconic card of 3 big players in a 9, mint condition, 30, almost 40 years, 40-year-old card now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just $4,200. This floors me now. It should have been $15,000 last year.
Yeah. Well, we had seen a couple of them over the course of the last 4 years at the National that were gem mint 10s.
10s.
Yeah, and those took some pretty big money. I think you and I looked at one.
Even back then?
I think you and I looked at one back in 2000, and so last year was 19, so 17, I think.
Okay.
We looked at one in the area of where Evan Mathis had his table.
Sure.
And I think the guy had a 10, and they were selling at that time for like 90,000 or 80,000 or something like that.
What do you think 10s are now?
I don't
imagine.
6 figures easy.
Yeah.
At this point.
So.
Yeah.
There's probably only a half dozen of them, maybe a little bit more. I don't know what the pop is, but I know it's not much.
It's insanity, man. Because that, to me, has an amazing presentation value. The centering,
for sure.
the edges, corners, the color. Like, I could look at that and compare it to a 10. I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Well, it might not have that little line.
Yeah, but does that impact because that's a guideline?
I think so. I mean,
That seems odd to me.
I mean, I look at it no different than
Because if you look at the
than a print
guideline,
dot.
but check this out. Guideline,
Yeah.
if that were on, if the cut was on the guideline, then the centering would be slightly off on the top. And look at
Maybe.
the centering on the top. It's perfect on the right. Which means the guideline was cut exactly where it was supposed to be cut.
You might. I mean, you're making a convincing argument. I don't know.
Hey, man,
maybe
logic.
Maybe we should call.
Anyway,
All
next card. Next card is a 1972 Topps Julius Irving rookie card, PSA 8. Man, the centering on this one is solid. So good. Another card that comes from, I mean, those vintage sets. Condition flaws and manufacturing flaws and dots and centering issues and registration issues even.
Yeah.
Registration issues, those are the most annoying.
Not to mention they were probably throwing these things around and boxes and.
We got to remember, we didn't have price guides until
Yeah.
like the 80s, and so we these things weren't really considered collectibles until the 80s, early to mid 80s, right in there. We got a Beckett in '84 was the first issue,
Right.
and so when we have this, we have the presentation value is extremely rare on this kind of thing. Granted, the backs aren't perfectly centered. That's another thing too. Is you look at backs and is it as good as the front?
Mm-hmm.
On this one, it's not, but you can deal with it. Here's the back, not as well centered, but you can accept it and be okay with it.
Right.
Because the presentation value in the front is so good. And people, when they put cards in their showcases, aren't putting them face down to see the backs. They're putting them face up so people can see the fronts. The Julius Irving is a huge card, very popular, and also one of those cards that just slowly rising
Right.
every year.
Every year.
And while people are buying Jordans and LeBrons, a lot of this other stuff is still available for relatively decent prices. This is a card I would love to have because, well, his haircut, I think, is sells me on the card. Who's Julius Irving? I just like the haircut.
Yeah. 1961 Fleer, Oscar Robertson, X-Mint 6.
With a stain.
With a stain, but just a solid card all the way around.
Love that card.
Yeah, it's a
Great Shrek acquisition.
really.
I bought from him in the 90s. I used to go to his table and dig through, and old personal story for you guys. Our buddy Ray he showed up at these card shows with us, and he always set up, and he was always really nice. Always a really, really nice guy. And when I was young and mid-teen, I'd go to card shows and at these hotel ballrooms, and Ray would be there. Mm-hmm. And I'd go through his bin, his boxes, and pull out every star card I could. And I'd put like a stack, like 96, like Pinnacle, like Dennis Eckersley, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I'd pull out a stack and be like, how much for all these? Because I'd really just comb through and get every star card I could. That's how I collected back then. And I'd come home and I'd file them away in the binders based on their last, and they started their last name because I had a binder per letter in the alphabet. And I put a stack up for Ray, and I was like, how much for all these? And he gave me a number. I was like, well, I don't have that now. He's like, well, I'll tell you what, you can come back and pay me over time. And that's the first instance where I was like, do I want to take on debt? And I said, I can't do it. So I put them back. But I think I bought some stuff from him that time. But I remember it's like a flashbulb memory because I remember so many things about that interaction. The lighting, where he was located in the ballroom show, and it was just such a cool time. And he was just a really nice guy. And he would show up at Derek's shows, and I'd haggle him down to like $10 for a Ozzie Smith rookie or something.
Yeah. Well, what was funny with him, what I remember is like you never knew what he was going to say. Like it could be $200 or it could be $20, right? And you weren't sure, And sometimes he would, just catch you by surprise. You'd think that it's going to come back at like 500, and he would hit you with like $100, and you'd be like, oh, okay. He was hard to read because he never knew how he priced things in his mind and what he was trying to get out of them.
So you have it, a personal story about a buddy of ours who we haven't seen in a while. Is he still?
I don't know.
We don't know what happened to him.
I've heard he got very ill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's been around a while. He's always a really nice guy, though. So you have it. This is a 61 Fleer, Oscar Robinson rookie.
Yeah.
Robertson. Yes, Oscar Robertson. Why was I mispronouncing it? Oscar Robertson rookie. This is the key. This is a key card. 61 Fleer, Wilt Chamberlain, PSA 7. This is the Wilt Chamberlain rookie, the key rookie card. Big card, huge card. In fact, funny story behind this. When I got into basketball cards for the very first time, I looked at the Beckett and I was like, what's the most expensive card in the Beckett? And it was this card.
Really?
This was like in the early 90s.
And what was that price?
It was like $4,700 back in the day. And I was like, man, that's so high. Gosh, so high. And now it's still a huge key card. But obviously with LeBron and Jordan and other guys and then modern and everything else, it's not the most expensive. Awesome card. Yeah. I love this. This is a card I would love to have in low grade eye appeal in my own collection, and like grade PSA low, like 1 or 2. There's so much out there that's not baseball I love to own, but I don't have time. I don't have enough time and money to buy it all, so I just kind of have to absorb information where I can get it and appreciate people's collections when and where possible. This is one of those instances. So there you have it, the 61 Fleer, Wilt Chamberlain rookie, one of the most important basketball cards, I think, of the entire basketball card market.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So that covers our basketball. We are now moving into, we have a couple more basketball pieces we're going to discuss. So let's go right into it here. I will let you start this one off.
So Kevin wanted us to first discuss, that he does also collect sealed wax. And so this is the 03-04 Topps hobby, but it's not just that it has the LeBron rookies, right, but it also is the first edition box.
So rare box and expensive box if you can find it.
Yeah.
Because the first editions were it's almost like the first off the line kind of thing,
right.
And so we're going to be showcasing 2 cards that come out of this particular product. The first being let's showcase this one first. Dwyane Wade and a PSA 10.
First edition. Again, it comes from the same product. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the little foil stamp in that upper corner right there.
I dig those, though.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I bought a lot of football.
You did?
Those when they did the first edition. Yeah. So I've got stacks of them someplace.
I finally finished the Thomases in first edition. There was one with the quad, 3 or 4 players on it, and it had the first edition stamp right in the middle. And it's just that card is really, that specific example is extremely rare.
Really?
And I found it as a bin for a couple bucks on eBay a couple months ago. Really, to me, it's an important card, but it's not valuable, but it's extremely rare.
Right.
So I was glad to finally get it. But that's talking about going to the basketball. The Dwyane Wade rookie, a big card. I haven't followed his card market, but I know that since he and Bosch and LeBron have kind of built kind of like their own little ethos, that surely his stuff sells pretty well, I would imagine.
I don't really follow him a whole lot.
Okay. This is the LeBron 03 Topps first edition in a 9. I'd imagine even in a 9, it's a stronger sale than the base. I don't know to what degree, what percentage. Is it twice as much? Is it a little bit more?
It's probably 25%.
Okay, so still strong.
Yeah.
And I think that when I look at this stuff, are we to assume confidently that first edition is maybe more obscure and not as well known?
I think it is.
Maybe people don't realize that it's even rarer than the base.
Yeah.
Non first edition.
I'm straining my brain on the football aspect, but I remember some of the local card shops saying that they were limited to what they could buy it wasn't like they could buy cases.
Okay.
They were only
I think Jim
like
got 4 boxes.
yeah, I think it was somewhere in that.
Is that how you got this one?
I acquired 2 boxes. I opened one and saved one.
Yeah. And they were cheap back then, were they not?
Well,
70, 80 bucks, 100 bucks?
Like 69, 79 bucks.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, they weren't much more expensive than the regular tops.
Now what do you think they're going for?
Probably 4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher? 6,000?
I think that.
Whew.
So this one here is the 0304 tops, the update factory sets, right?
How were
And
they?
so
Were they a hobby or retail? This
That was
thing.
retail.
I think you could find them both, right?
I don't know about hobby. I know the only ones I found were at Kmart's
Okay.
at the time.
And what were they
So-
going for back then?
I think 39 bucks.
Set it on the.
39.95
hold it right
or
there.
something like that.
So, yeah, because I was just getting back into the hobby in 03 after my 5-year hiatus, or 4.5 and change or whatever. And so I missed out on the whole LeBron James thing. I was just getting back into buying lots of Frank Thomas cards, collections of them on eBay.
So I didn't get
missed it.
into buying them at the rate that I probably should have been buying them.
But were you buying them back then?
I picked up a few here and there.
You did.
I do know that I picked up more afterwards, but I was still buying them when they were very affordable.
Sure.
I mean, I remember buying a Topps Chrome for $18. So
Oh my God.
yeah.
So here we have 2 LeBron cards from Topps. We're going to compare the base Topps card with the collections card that comes out of the box you just saw. This is the base Topps 2003 LeBron in a 10. Okay, so that's the picture, the classic. He's holding his jersey. Okay, and then the collections card it's got an updated photo, which is the action shot, also in a 10.
In a 10. Yeah.
What is it? Do you think 25% more than the base, or
They're actually cheaper than the base.
they're cheaper than the base?
From what we understand, they're probably harder to get than the base.
And they're cheaper.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You think it's like the first edition where it's kind of obscure, not as well known, that kind of thing. They're all parallels, and they're just different versions of the cards. This one having a different photo, and then the back is actually different than the base back. So you have this, and you've got that. So here's the collections card, and on the right is your base.
I'm always curious, like maybe people just didn't want to bust these at $40 a piece, you know? But I would think with the guaranteed LeBron.
So 2003 Topps basketball, if you're buying the factory set, this is what you're going to get.
Right.
This LeBron James.
So I found one of those up in my box of sets.
You've got one of these?
I got one of
You
those.
do?
And it wasn't until we started talking about them that I was thinking, I think I might actually have one of those. You know, I know some people, find it hard to believe that people store stuff away and forget about it.
I have stuff like that.
But yeah, I mean, when you start looking at like our card rooms and the just sheer volume of stuff that's in there, it's pretty easy to forget about a factory set.
all 91 Don Russ in my collection. That's all it is.
That's what's in the storage shed.
Yeah, just pallets of 91 Don Russ, all those blue borders.
Yeah.
We're almost done. You're hanging in there. Hang in there. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this. This over here. What are you
Do
talking
you know
about?
anything about those?
I've seen some of the. They're like, I don't know what the authenticity on them is.
Talk
but we
about
can talk
it
about them if
since
you
they're
want.
here. And then we'll do the last piece.
Oh, I forgot about the golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you have 4. Oh, I got. Okay. All right. Okay. 1989 Upper Deck Griffey, black and white, printer's proof, I guess you'd call these. So here's the interesting thing about this, is that in 1990, the Topps ran a sheet of their cards for that set without color to I think just to test its presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the production process is for Topps, but I have the Frank Thomas black and white front, but the black is just as normal back from any of his normal 414 rookie card in that set. This has a blank back.
Mm-hmm.
And Upper Deck may have ran a sheet without the backs on them, if this is in fact legitimate product. And this black and white card was part of that sheet. And as we'll talk here in a second, here's the Gary Sheffield Same deal. The back of it is blank. So if it's like that, then they're testing the way that the registration looks. I guess I don't know because I wasn't around I wasn't part of the team to produce this. But if I'm looking at it from a production standpoint, I'm looking at how registration would appear without putting in all the CMYK colors through the palette and running them, and actually putting this into production. How long have you had these?
I'm going to say 15 years at least.
Yeah, how'd you acquire them?
Through Daryl.
Yeah.
I got them from Daryl. And I just found them in a box. I don't know the first thing about them. That's why I thought I'd show you and
yeah.
what kind of knowledge you had about them.
I think production proofs to come with like this kind of like a scrap mentality sort of category. It's not mentality, but scrap category, meaning that the stuff wasn't supposed to be released into the public like domain. It was supposed to be for production proofing. At least that's been my knowledge with the Frank Thomases that I've acquired in 1992. Frank Thomas appears on a similar card. And the picture is different than his 92 Donruss card. They used a different photo because the photo on the proof is like a stupid card of him like jumping with his legs out. But the card they used is something more traditional. And so, but it's just like this. It's black and white, and the back of it is blank. And 91 Donruss, I've got a Thomas, same thing. It's black and white, same everything, but the back is blank. And so I see these like, this is one stage of the production process. This is my knowledge. I can't back this up with any degree of certainty or proof, but in my experience, this is what I know about these, is they'll run some sheets through in different production phases to see how things look. And there's also, if it's anything like 90 tops, the yellow that we know on the backs of 90 tops, before they put the yellow in, they were just standard gray cardboard. And I have the Frank Thomas with the gray back, and it looks the same. And I've also got the Thomas with the blank back and the blank front. There's a bunch of different proof versions of these cards. I've never seen an 89 Upper Deck Griffey like that, but it would have run through the same protocol, like testing it out, see how it looks, seeing how the cuts come out, because you're testing out the cutter. You're doing the different phases of production before final production. It's these like pre-production phases. And so these are really unique pieces. I don't know how rare they are. I've never seen them, so they've got to be pretty rare.
Well, I think it's interesting. It's like an ASA slabbing. I don't know what that is, but like this one says that the Griffey is one of 20 proofs, and then it's graded in 8 mint. As well as card number 1, even though there is no card numbering on them. Whereas the Sheffield is 13A.
Well, okay. Let's talk about the Sheffield for a minute.
Okay.
The Sheffield 13A. If you know anything about, they're both 13A. Here's one. Right. This one has a little bit. This one's registration. This one's registration is pretty solid and clear. This one's registration not solid and clear, kind of blurry. So the reason why this is card number 13A is that the Sheffield card was printed twice. The reason why is because the first time it passed through, this little SS for shortstop in the upper right-hand corner is upside down. And they corrected it on 13B, and that's the one that's a little bit more common. So they caught it kind of early. So the SS, there's 2 versions. The SS is upside down on the proofs, which is because it's the first pass. And then once it was slabbed, then they identified that it's in fact the first pass. And then that makes sense because it's the first pass going through for testing. They didn't catch it until later, and they caught it in production once it was already
So
ran
did some
through.
of them get produced
right side up?
Right side up
Yeah.
and upside down?
Yeah. Well, no, it's either they're both upside down or they're both right side up.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. In the normal Sheffields, can you find
You can find both of them.
both of them?
Yeah, because they caught that after production. They were like, oh, hey, by the way, the Sheffield SSs should be right side up.
Well,
Let's fix that.
I didn't know that.
It was caught early enough to where these ones are slightly rarer than the corrected ones, but there's so many of them out there that they're available.
There's not a premium.
Yeah, it's not a huge premium on the Sheffield, but
nobody's looking for them.
that's why this is card 13A, because he's card 13 in the set, and A being the first one of the 2 versions. It's A. It's like the no name is 414A, and the corrected one that we've all come to know is 414B.
Okay.
So that's why there's that. But Yeah, if they produce 20 to go around in circulation, you have 20. There's 20 copies of these, and Kevin's got 2 of the 20 of both the Griffey and the Sheffield. Really cool stuff. You don't see this stuff too. This is kind of like obscure, and if you're a player collector, this is the kind of stuff you kind of want to add. But if you're not, you probably want to go for the pack issued example, because this is what we call printer scrap. And it's difficult. Like I said, somebody who worked at Upper Deck got a hold of these and was like, I'm going to make some money. So they had them in their possession when they quit or got laid off or got fired or whatever it was, and these ended up in the secondary market. That's how a lot of the pinnacle unreleased stuff entered the market, because of the liquidation, the sell-off. So that's that. I hope does that cover some of the bases a little bit?
Well, and it actually, with the story that you've given, 13A and 13B, it kind of lines up with things as far as the way those are slabbed as well. So, no, that helps me a lot.
You wouldn't see this card in 13B.
Right.
So it would only be the rare one.
Cool. All right, last
block. So this is cool. What we're going to be talking about here, set those over there. I love these, by the way. They're amazing. I love them.
The golf ones or these printers?
The Griffey and the Sheffield are fantastic. These are some of the nicest golf cards ever. In fact, you know what? Dan, why don't you start us off with this one?
Okay, so this is the 2012 SP Game Used Tour Gear Triple Red. Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Byron Nelson. Triple memorabilia.
Love it.
Piece.
Love it.
BGS 8. This is number 1 of 2. And take special note, because the Byron Nelson piece actually says Byron.
Byron. Look at that.
It's hand sewn.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing.
I love it.
I love it. Now, did you buy these as a pair?
I did not.
You did not.
I bought them separately.
No kidding. And what was the distance between the first purchase and the second purchase in terms of like
About 6 months?
6 months. So that's 1 of 2.
Yeah.
This is the other. This is 2 of 2. And you'll notice that the Byron on that card says Byron, and on this one it says Nelson. So in fact, if you put them like
side by side,
let's do this here. Side by side, you can see them, Byron Nelson. I just think this is the coolest pair.
Yeah.
This might be the coolest golf pair ever. I just think this is so rad. I love this. This is just such a cool pair of cards.
Yeah.
God, what a great run. Were they around the same price-ish?
Yes, fairly close.
Yeah. What was the difference? Would you say dollar?
Maybe $100.
Okay, so that's not bad. They
clearly, all of the patches are from the same piece.
If I remember, I'm thinking in the $400 to $600 range.
Oh, that's not terrible.
Yeah, no, they were reasonable.
How long ago was that?
The year that product came out.
Oh, okay.
Looks like this one top to bottom is the same piece, and this one bottom to top is the same piece. That's really cool that they're all kind of from the same piece of fabric and not from something different.
You know, we talk about, and this has kind of been floating around the hobby for years, is like people trying to pursue the entire print run of something. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is 2 cards, so it's a big deal in that it's 2 cards, but it's not a big deal and it's not 100 cards. So it has like that double-edged sword. It's incredibly impressive that he's got both.
Yeah.
But like if there were 100 and he got 100, also equally impressive and take a lot longer, a lot more time, a lot more money. But he's got 2, and you got to remember that Kevin, you probably had to look for a while to get them in 2012. So that the window of opportunity for cards, oftentimes stuff like this, when it comes out, you might see it hit eBay, and there's a window where it hits eBay hard, and then it's gone, and you never see it again. Print run, 1 of 2 and 2 of 2.
2 of 2.
That is like
so
cool.
I want to say back in 06, Bowman Elevations basketball, I pulled I believe it was a Kobe Bryant patch numbered 1 of 2. And about 3 days later, Colson, he pulled 2 of 2.
They both landed in
They both landed in Albuquerque, yeah.
And where are those today?
I think I traded that to him because he wanted to have the complete run.
So you might still have them?
So you might still have them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Try to get them back.
Well, and to be honest, I think we did a trade, and I think he traded me another Kobe patch numbered to like 3 and something else. So it was a fair deal all the way around. But I thought it was cool that he wanted to have both of them, and that they were both pulled within just a few days of each other in the same town.
Never heard that story.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's such a great pair.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Kevin has the full run of this card, both cards. Awesome stuff, Kevin. Thank you for letting us go through this collection. Dan, do you have any final thoughts?
I'm good.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Reno, and until next time, enjoy collecting.
Take care.
So I want to show you guys something. This is really cool. My buddy Kevin has this bat here, right here, signed by Kevin Costner. So this bat was a movie prop in Field of Dreams. Now, I don't know if this is the exact bat that Kevin Costner used during the scenes in his baseball field that he built, but it might be. And it's just such a cool thing that this was actually a prop in Field of Dreams. So it might be that bat. Such a cool thing. It's signed by Kevin Costner here. I just want to show this off because it's such a cool item to see. That you don't see stuff like this very frequently. We'll see other things in this showcase occasionally, but you just don't see the Kevin Costner signed bat that was a movie prop in Field of Dreams. So I just want to talk about that. It's just so cool.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.
This might be the coolest hockey card pair ever.
Hockey. Golf.
Put it back
You
up.
guys want to look at cases? I've got a beautiful one I paid $50 for.
I remember that.
We're going to do food? I got
It's
food.
in
Oh, it's in there? Okay, because
before you got there.